Welcome to Tech Talk Central. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Sarah.
Today we are diving into something a lot of you have been asking about, mini PCs. Specifically, the Apple Mac Mini with the M4 Pro chip versus the Beelink SER9 Pro. Which one is the better value?
Yeah, it's a great question. These compact machines are super popular. We've dug into their Amazon listings, specs, price, reviews, the whole lot.
Our mission today, unpack all that info, see what the real differences are, and help you figure out which one might actually be the right fit for what you need.
Exactly. Not just spec sheets, but what it means day-to-day, value.
Okay, let's lay it out. First up, the Apple Mac Mini. This one's got the M4 Pro 12-core CPU, 16-core GPU, 24 gigs of unified memory, and a 512 gig SSD. Price tag right now, $1,214.77.
And on the other side, the Beelink SER9 Pro. This packs an AMD Ryzen AI 9 HX370 processor, also 12 cores, but 24 threads. It comes with 32 gigs DDR5 RAM and a full 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. Price $999.
So right off the bat, you see that price difference, about $200, and different approaches to memory and storage too.
Definitely different philosophies. Apple's listing really leans into it being built for Apple Intelligence. That sounds like, they're baking in future AI stuff.
Right. Software optimization down the line, maybe.
And they mentioned the ports, Thunderbolt, HDMI, Ethernet, plus those handy front USB-C ports and the headphone jack. The M4 Pro is aimed squarely at demanding stuff, complex graphics, coding, that sort of thing.
Plus, the whole Apple ecosystem integration. If you've got an iPhone, things like mirroring, universal clipboard, it's meant to just work. Oh, and they mentioned it's carbon neutral.
Which is a nice touch. Digging into that M4 Pro a bit more, that 12-core CPU has 8 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. The idea is it balances power and energy saving.
Smart.
And the 16-core GPU, hardware-accelerated ray tracing, that points to decent graphics performance. Plus a 16-core neural engine for machine learning tasks, within their ecosystem. And it handles up to 3 displays, which is pretty flexible. Thunderbolt 5 and HDMI.
Okay, so what are actual users saying? Looking at reviews, speed is like the big thing. People say it's incredibly fast.
Yeah, faster than some recent PCs even.
And great for multitasking, especially if you're doing graphic design or creative work. The small size is obviously a plus, fits anywhere.
Quiet too, apparently. People really appreciate how silent it is.
A lot of users feel it's good value if you're in the Apple world. Easy setup, sleek design. But there are downsides mentioned.
Like what?
The power button placement on the bottom is apparently a bit awkward for some. And, well, gaming on macOS is still limited.
Always a factor with Macs.
And the big one, storage upgrades from Apple are expensive, so people end up using external SSDs.
Which works, but isn't quite as neat. Okay, let's switch gears. The Beelink SER9 Pro, what's the story there?
Well, the star is that AMD Ryzen AI 9 processor, the HX370, 12 cores, 24 threads, boosting up to 5.1 gigahertz. That's some serious multi-core power.
And it comes with Windows 10 Home pre-installed, so huge software compatibility right out of the gate.
Connectivity looks good, too. Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, importantly, 2.5 gig Ethernet.
Ooh, that's nice. Future-proofing the network a bit.
Yeah. Plus DisplayPort, HDMI, USB 4, USB 3.2, even USB 2.0, and a Type-C data port. Lots of options.
And like the Mac, it supports triple displays, DP, HDMI, and that USB 4 port. So good for multitasking setups.
And it starts with more RAM, 32 gigs of LPDDR5, and double the storage, that 1 TB NVMe SSD.
But the real kicker for some might be the expansion. It has 2 M.2 PCIe 4.0 slots inside. You can add a lot more storage later, up to 4 TB per slot, apparently.
That's huge flexibility compared to the Mac Mini's internal setup. So what about Beelink reviews?
Value for money is a recurring theme. People feel they're getting a lot of hardware for that $999 price.
Small size is appreciated again. Fits on monitor stands, stuff like that.
Users report it's really responsive in Windows, handles productivity, even development works smoothly. And like the Mac, it's generally praised for being quiet and powerful for its size.
Installation seems easy too, even for Linux users.
Yeah, reports suggest it's pretty straightforward. But there is some mixed feedback. A few users reported units failing after a short time.
Okay. Reliability questions, maybe.
Potentially. It's hard to gauge prevalence from reviews, but it's mentioned. One person had Bluetooth interference under heavy load, but fixed it with a USB dongle.
Interesting. And performance comparisons.
Someone compared an older Beelink model, the SER7, favorably against an old Mac Pro, and said it was even competitive with M1 Macs for things like video and coding. Suggests that Ryzen CPU really holds its own in multi-threaded tasks.
Okay, so bringing it all together, for you, listening, Trying to decide on value. What's the takeaway? Two capable machines, clearly.
Very capable. The Mac Mini is playing the Apple ecosystem card, the slick integration, the custom silicon, and maybe future AI stuff.
But you pay a bit more, and upgrading storage later is pricey or external.
Right. The Beelink offers, arguably, more raw hardware for the money up front, more RAM, double the SSD space, and that internal expansion capability. Plus, it runs Windows natively.
So if you're deep in the Apple world, you love macOS, you value that seamless feel, the Mac Mini might still feel like the better value to you, despite the cost.
Exactly. That Apple intelligence factor could also be a long-term play.
But if you're focused purely on getting the most processing grunt, the most storage, the most flexibility for your dollar, especially for Windows or Linux,
Then the Beelink SER9 Pro looks really compelling on paper. That 2.5G Ethernet is a nice bonus, too.
we do have to factor in those few reliability mentions for the Beelink, though. Mac hardware generally has a strong reputation there.
True. So value isn't just specs per dollar, it's the whole package, including perceived reliability and that ecosystem lock-in, or lack thereof.
So here's the thing, maybe the most interesting part for you. Best value. It really isn't one size fits all here.
Not at all. It completely hinges on what you prioritize.
Are you an Apple person through and through, willing to pay that premium for the experience? Or do you want the absolute most hardware, power, and upgrade options for your money in a small box?
That's the fundamental choice, premium integration versus raw hardware value and flexibility.
Hopefully, breaking it down like this helps you weigh those priorities and figure out which one offers the best value for your specific needs.
Yeah, hopefully this deep dive has clarified things a bit.
To find the latest prices and deals on both of these, be sure to check out the links in the description below.
And if you found this comparison helpful, maybe give us a like and subscribe to the channel Tech Talk Central for more tech deep dives like this one.
We'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Which mini PC are you leaning towards? Or is there another model on your radar? Let us know why. Thanks for tuning in.